Conscious.Enterprises. I'm Roxana Rafecha, the founder of Conscious.Enterprises, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with you. Magdalena Sartori knows how to bring a vision to life. She speaks 5 languages, has lived internationally all around the world, and is now the Chief Creative Officer of the Assemblage, which is an innovative co-working space that houses some of the most impactful businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs in the consciousness movement. From an extraordinary global perspective, Magdalena has been the visionary eye behind the interior design and planning for the Assemblage, which is also New York City's very first crowd-funded commercial development, which is said to have cost over $400 million. Working with renowned interior design firm Meyer Davis, who are responsible for the interiors of countless stunning properties, including my personal favorite, the One Hotel, Magdalena has integrated her commitment to biophilia and an active feedback approach to create the perfect space. In this profound conversation, we discuss Magdalena's unique background, her experience overseeing a creative vision that has come to life, finding alignment and surrendering to your purpose, the significance of your intentions behind your actions, Ayurveda, and entrepreneurship. Please enjoy this conversation and please follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Facebook. And you can always find us at www.conscious.enterprises. So I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me. The last time actually I was in the John Street location, it was a hard hat tour, and so everything was still under construction. So this room's beautiful. The whole space is just like really stunning. So it's really great to be here. So Magdalena, you are the Chief Creative Officer of the Assemblage, and I want to start off by reading a couple lines from the website about the Assemblage. The Assemblage is a co-working space for the enlightened at the intersection of technology, consciousness, and capital. You guys also claim on the site to improve the world around us. We need to uncover new frameworks and methods that enable businesses to have a positive social impact and turn a profit. So in your own words, what is the Assemblage and what is your goal here?
Yeah, so thanks for being here.
Thank you
for having me. So really the Assemblage is a place for people to come in and just go through their own self-transformation, and by doing that infuse their action in the world with their best energy. So we created containers with co-working, co-living, and social spaces where you can just easily go through your day and stay in the highest vibration possible. So we work with Ayurvedic food. There is no alcohol in the space. We have botanical plants that enhance you. We do daily meditations. We eat together, breakfast and lunch. We do it communally. As you see, the spaces are designed in a way where you can feel a bit more connected with your body and with yourself. So by creating those containers for people, we're just helping them be their highest expression, so that their action is infused with that energy.
Beautiful, I love it. What do entrepreneurs that are moving into this space with their businesses, what do you think that they're valuing about this space that they're not getting at other co-working spaces like WeWork, and there's so many out there now?
Mm-hmm. I think it's twofold. One is personal, to feel more connected, like I was saying, not to have to think about where to eat your lunch, where to go for your daily meditation, or where to do your gym. Just have everything under one roof that solves the small issues of your daily life. It's amazing because it frees up space for other things to actually create action in the world.
Yeah.
And the second one is community. So really being able to be in a space with people that share your values and are working towards the same thing, the same evolution of humanity. It helps you also, in a way, elevate yourself and elevate your actions.
Right. Great. And you yourself have a really interesting background, very international. I kind of wanted to hear about how you grew up and what brought you to New York City.
So yeah, I was born in Uruguay,
Yeah.
from Uruguayan parents. I left Uruguay when I was 5 with my mom, who went to study in Paris for her PhD. So she took me
Nice.
and my brother with her. And we spent a few years in Paris, and then she moved to Geneva to work for the UN. So it's pretty interesting to grow up that way, like seeing actually where we were in Geneva is very international. At school, I was with all type of different cultures and people from different places, and it just helped me understand the world as like in its globality.
Right.
So I finished high school and I moved to Lausanne to study architecture at Polytechnique.
Polytechnic.
Polytechnique,
Okay.
yeah. And then I went to Hong Kong for a few years to
Oh,
work as an
wow.
architect. I lived in Doha, Dubai, a few months
Oh
within
my
the
God.
National Museum.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah. And I moved back to Paris, and I realized I became an architect because I wanted to create spaces and envision spaces. And I realized I actually didn't want to be a service provider, but I want to be the developer.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I moved to New York to do my master's in real estate development at
Okay.
Columbia University, which is my school. And that was 7 years ago.
Okay.
And when I moved to New York, I knew I was never going to leave.
Really? What was it
Really.
about New York?
I don't know, I've been a vegetarian for years,
Yeah.
and I just always like really like this just this way of living in New York City,
Yeah.
where it's like more conscious in a way.
Oh, really? You think
Yeah,
so?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So comparatively to the other places you've lived so far, you think it's more conscious here?
yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely,
That's good to hear.
yeah, no, I mean there is a way of approaching life in New York City.
Yeah.
Where it's you have the two extremes, right? Like the
Yes.
like the workaholic
Yes.
and like crazy life work balance, but then you also have access to so much wellness and.
Yeah.
I mean, being a vegetarian 7 years ago was very random, but then in New
Right.
York City it was very easy because you always had access to different products.
That's true. There's a little bit of everything. Yeah.
And I like that you can be where you want in New York.
Yes.
It's very free in that sense.
Yeah, non-judgmental, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
I decided to make it my home.
Yeah. How many languages do you speak?
5.
5. Okay, so what
Yeah.
are they?
So I speak Spanish at home.
Okay.
My mom, we always spoke Spanish. And then I grew up speaking French.
Okay.
And then I went to Swiss school, so I
Right.
learned Italian and German.
Oh my God, everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think that has an influence in the way you think about the world
I'm
and
sure
how
it
you structure
does.
your thoughts.
I feel like every time you add a language to the brain, like it just must open something else. You know what I mean? It just opens
Yeah.
another door of like thinking, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. What is the inspiration? I know Rodrigo Nino is the founder here. What was his inspiration behind this space?
So he had a vision of the space years ago after getting healed from cancer,
Yes.
stage 3 melanoma. And he had this initial vision of interconnectedness that we're all seeing and we're all kind of feeling
Right.
now. So he started seeing that very early on. He transformed his business from real estate funding to crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he crowdfunded all the buildings, we were actually looking at operators at the time, and then we just decided that we would just create our own operator because we had a very clear vision of how
Yeah.
what this should be. That said, the vision was at a very esoteric level. So we spent 2 years where he invited me into the company to actually start envisioning how would the operation look like.
Mm.
What would the brand be?
Right.
How would it actually manifest into something?
Right.
So yeah, it was a birth process literally because we were innovating so much, so we were like finding it, and we also had to just let it be what it needed to be.
Right.
Kind
Right.
of get out of the way and just let it manifest in a way.
How long was this process from like ideation to, I guess, today when it's, built and opened?
That was like a 2-year process.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
Wow.
2.5 years.
That's great. What was like the most challenging part for you on the creative side?
Well, I was managing director
Oh,
of
okay.
the brands for 2 years, and I set up the initial operation, the initial team, and I think the most difficult thing is that we were all going through our own self-transformation as we were building it.
Along. Interesting.
So we were in a journey, and the most difficult part is always to get out of your mind and your ego, and just to let things flow and flow in their own timing.
Right.
You know, I feel like we tend to try to control the process, and that blocks certain channels.
Yeah.
So we kind of learn as we're going to just let things come, and like to also manage from a different place.
Okay.
It's, to manage the company in a way where you're kind of like being the steward of it.
Okay.
Of letting it manifest. It's like a child, you know.
Right.
Just be there, support it to be what it
But
needs
let
to
it kind
be.
of grow on its own, sort of a thing. That's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people do not use that perspective in business at all.
No, and then we block so much energy by doing
Right.
that because we project our own vision into something, and it's not our own ownership. I think that we're just manifesting things that are in the collective.
Right. And then if something turns out a little bit different, you kind of freak out because it wasn't a part of your own controlled idea of what it was supposed to be, and then you're blocking it from its true essence, probably, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So the Assemblage is the first crowd-funded co-working space in Manhattan, which is so phenomenal and amazing. How do you think that impacts the space here as a crowd-funded commercial space?
Well, I really believe that things have an energy. I've been studying Feng Shui.
Oh, cool.
And I think that the fact that these buildings are not owned by any corporation or any high net worth individual, but actually owned by very simple people, by the crowd, literally, it makes something in the space. It creates like a different vibration in the space, and I think that people feel that.
Right.
And it also changes the fact that we are not responding to any greed structure.
Yeah.
We're actually responding just to like genuinely make money for our investors to providing something good for them.
Right.
It's really an embodiment of our ethos of doing well, being doing good.
Yeah, so everyone who invested was genuinely, I guess, trusted in and believed in what the space was. So they're probably less, I mean, I'm sure everyone wants to make money, but they're probably a little less concerned about return than the quality of what they're building here, right?
Yeah, it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Because you cannot not forget the other side.
Right.
We still want to make money for investors, and we still always want to make money, but it's more about how do you actually make money?
Yeah.
Would you rather put in a private equity fund that's doing mining and oil, or would you rather put in something that's creating something good?
That's such a good point. Yeah, that's very interesting. And I mean, the space is obviously really beautiful. I know Meyer Davis was the interior designer. Did you ever see that whole process?
Yes.
Because I know this was like a $400 million development or whatever it was. What was that process like working with Meyer Davis? I love their work because I know they've done the One Hotel and all these beautiful spaces. Yeah,
and really when we were interviewing for interior designers, the One Hotel was the point, you know, where I said, okay, this is going somewhere where it's getting closer to what we want to do. And not only Meyer Davis, but also Plan the Future, who's our landscape designer.
Oh, okay.
Who also worked at the One Hotel.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So we used that team that came on board, and it was an interesting process because we started working with them 2 years ago. And we were creating the brand as we're going.
Oh,
so
interesting.
We didn't really know what we were creating. In some way. You know, we had this vision that we're trying to manifest. It had the name very early on. But it changed so much in those 2 years. So there were a lot of changes and moving pieces. And even the day before we opened, we didn't really know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
and we still made a lot of changes at the end. And they've been amazing at really like going through the process with us and envisioning how would you create a space for collaboration. That's our initial thought. Like how would you design the spaces in a way where you create more connections with people and more intimacy.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a tough process.
I'm sure.
But we are like the whole team is very happy with how
How
it came together.
many concept rounds did you go through before you came upon this one?
Went through a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
A lot of those.
I'm sure a lot of
And
them.
even after opening, we said, well, this is how I think that the space has to look like.
Right.
But we need to let people also kind of own it.
Right.
So we started looking at how people started using these spaces, and we made adjustments based on that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Like what? What did you adjust?
Like we had this in Nomad, we had this mezzanine.
Yeah.
That was a meeting room.
Right.
Initially. So we opened, there was a table coming the week after, and once the table came, we actually realized that people were using it to kind of hang out and sit around the room because there was a gong there. So we said, let's just
scrap
bring
it. Yeah.
let's just bring some cushions, floor cushions, and make that. And that actually became our programming space.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the main floor, right? Oh, yeah. That's like the best part about that space. Yeah. How interesting.
So there was a lot of design from bottom up.
Right. Getting
Like
feedback and
ownership of the space.
Very cool.
And
That's
obviously it was a very different process opening John Street because we already knew what our community wanted to Nomad. So John Street was a much smoother process.
It was, okay.
And on Park Avenue style is going to be even more.
Yeah, when is the Park Avenue one due to open?
It's due in April of next year.
Oh, okay. That's coming up too. And what's going to be is it going to be similar or?
It's going to be just office space and 2 elixir bars.
Okay.
And we're going to have a public restaurant in the bottom.
Oh, right. I heard about that. That's exciting. I'm excited about the restaurant. Great. In your own career and personal life, how have you experienced the connection between intention and outcome? Do you think that the assemblage is a reflection of that, how intentions become outcome?
Yeah, completely. What I always say is that more important than the action itself is the intention that you have behind the action, because that transforms the action itself.
Right.
And so here at Assemblage, I've been experimenting a lot with that.
Oh, yeah?
To what it actually means to put intention into a space.
Yeah.
A lot of our textiles, for example, come from indigenous tribes in Latin America, Mexico and Peru, mostly. And they've been made by women.
Very cool.
So bringing that energy into the space for me is critical, and I do think that it's important. I think that people feel it in a way.
Yeah.
And somehow it reconnects us all.
Yeah.
And then having living plants, living beings in the space. It's also really important because your brain picks up some of those vibrations and we feel less isolated.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the issues in New York City is that we created this human energy vortex where we live as if we were disconnected from nature.
Right.
And so restoring that connection to living systems makes us feel more connected with ourselves as well.
Yeah, the plants is a huge touch here, like all the greenery on the walls and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really important part of the ethos.
Yeah.
We call it biophilic design.
Okay.
That's that hypothesis.
Biophilic?
Biophilic, yeah.
Okay.
Biophilia is a hypothesis that says that human beings lost the connection with living systems.
Interesting. Yeah.
Biophilia tends to suggest a reconnection.
Yeah. Great. How is I think this is kind of an obvious question, but how is the assemblage serving a higher purpose?
So I think that is through just providing containers for people to come and go through their own self-transformation and just do the action that they need to do in the world in the easiest way. By providing the perfect environment for them to just eat the best food, meditate, be in spaces of connection, and then providing the community needs that they need as well.
Great. Yeah, I think that what's great about the space is, because what's lacking in a lot of corporate America in general, I think, is, and it's growing, but it's having wellness ingrained into corporate culture is something that is kind of blossoming right now. And what's great about this space is that, these small businesses are moving in here and the amenities are already there. So the wellness is already built into the space, which is really cool. Do you have any thoughts on how corporations should be doing better at integrating wellness, meditation, sound baths, yoga, whatever it is, to help people kind of flourish and thrive in their workspace?
Yeah, I think it's all about, again, like putting that intention
Yeah.
into spaces, of like creating spaces that are flexible and adaptable for us to live. The way we design offices in the last 30 years, since the 80s, it's just not human.
Right.
You know, it doesn't foster human connection.
Right.
It doesn't foster you to connect with your body. So it's very simple adjustments of how to design the offices. But I also think that it's important not to be isolated as a corporation, and then maybe with other corporations and share cultures.
Yeah.
Because you can also very easily become like a Google type of thing, where it becomes like a unique culture that becomes ghettoized from other influences.
That's a good point.
So that's why I like here to have different companies that maybe have their own culture, and they bring it back into the space as well.
Right.
And we provide them with the basic culture of just taking care of your body, eating well, and just having spaces for gathering.
Great point. So, I mean, you clearly have a commitment to wellness in this co-working space, about the meditations and the sound baths and the yoga and the events. What is your personal routine like? How do you take care of yourself?
Well, so I'm a recovered workaholic.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really important balance.
Yeah.
To really find balance through the day and through the weeks. For me, it's very important to connect with my feminine side, because I've been like purely connecting with my masculine my whole life. Just working, to masters and working, and like really exhausting myself.
Yeah.
So connecting with that feminine is what helps me bring that energy into my work. And I do it through dancing meditation.
Oh, wow.
So I do 5 rhythms, which is a type of dance.
5 rhythms?
5 rhythms,
okay.
Yeah. It's a type of dance that you do blindfolded, and I do it every morning.
How cool! Blindfolded.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like interpretive dance? Like you're just kind of doing?
It's like a meditation, but you meditate through your body, and you actually really connect with what's going on in your body. Because sometimes we're not listening to our body; we're just stuck in our mind and listening to our mind.
Right.
So it takes your awareness back into your body.
Interesting.
And then you can dance out different emotions.
Cool.
So I do that every morning. That's really important.
For how long?
For me, for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spending time self-care is so important. Because I really think that everything that you put out and you create in the world is infused with that energy.
Yes.
So I follow an Ayurvedic diet.
You do, okay.
That's been...
Why don't you explain, for people that don't know what Ayurvedic diet is, explain a little bit about that.
So Ayurveda is an ancient way of eating, feeding your body. You first have to identify your own dosha, of what your body type is, because we need different things depending on what type of energy or elements we have inside.
Right.
There are 3 types of doshas, and you're usually a mix of them.
Yeah.
So you eat according to your body type, and then you eat according to the cosmos and the planets. So you're not supposed to eat the same things in winter than in summer.
Right.
And that's something that actually changed my life, to stop eating salads in winter.
Right.
Because that's not natural.
Your body wants the warmth,
Your body wants the warmth and cooked vegetables.
Yeah.
So you feel that you're aligned with the universe in general, because
that's amazing.
You're just aligned with the seasons.
Awesome. Anything else?
Well, I do so much.
I'm sure. I figured you'd have some good ones. Give me one more favorite.
So
one.
One that's really important for me is the 3 p.m. meditation.
Okay.
Which is something that I did before when I had my office in Wall Street. I would always stop at 3 p.m., have a 10-minute meditation, and reconnect, because that's the moment where you are in your lowest frequencies.
Right. That's usually when everyone goes on the caffeine crash, and
that's when
true.
you go for the machine, sneakers, the bar.
It's true.
Or the coffee.
Yeah.
Which actually accelerates even more, and then you have a big crash after 5 or 6. So at 3 p.m. I stop, I do my meditation, and that's something that we implemented here in the space. So at 3 p.m. you have either sound, kundalini, or breath work for 45 minutes. And that really changes everything, changes the day. To stop, and it's very difficult when you're in the middle of your day to actually stop.
Right.
And say, you know what, I'm actually going to take care of myself.
Right.
For 45 minutes, so that I can be better for the world.
Right. Do you notice like a shift after that 3 o'clock when everyone comes back out and gets back to work? Do you feel like everyone's like re-energized?
Yes, yeah,
I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah.
People should just do that instead of 3 p.m. coffee around the world. Can
Exactly,
you
yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
like Starbucks would go out of business though? That's great. In your experience with working with all these enlightened startups and entrepreneurs, what are some of the biggest trends that you're seeing in the industry?
So what I've been noticing is that we're moving towards a world that really understands more the interconnectedness of things. And I see that it becomes more and more difficult to just start sectorize or identify industries or sectors.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people ask me like, what's your main industry focus at Assemblage?
Yeah.
And it's really nothing. You know,
Okay.
It's completely across different sectors, across different industries.
It's true.
So you have from tech to AI to wellness to hedge funds to
Right.
design, you know, like it's really everything.
Right.
And I feel like now we're moving towards a world where each business is more integrated and more holistic in a way, a more holistic approach.
Yeah.
Where an AI company may be working with also health or nutrition and different things, and it becomes more, we're moving away from that way of seeing the world into like industries.
Yeah. I hope so. I think that would be, that would be ideal, right?
Yeah, and it's the same in health, you know.
Yeah.
I was at the panel yesterday talking about it.
Yeah.
How also health became a holistic.
That's true. Yeah, it is slowly shifting the healthcare industry as well. That's interesting. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you encountered while building the Assemblage? We talked a little bit about the design thing. Anything else that comes to mind?
I always say the biggest challenge is always our own ego and our own mind.
That is true.
That gets in the way.
Right.
You know? So it's just like, again, to reconnect, realign, and just get out of the mind to let things flow the way they're supposed to.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable sharing any of your own ego issues that came up that you had to work on?
Yeah, I mean, I call ego the mind.
Yeah.
So it's anything that's like a too structured way of thinking about something.
Yeah.
That's by the way how we learn to be in the world is through our ego and our mind.
Right.
And even going to business school is like they teach you a way of managing things that's so it's so controlling and misaligned with the way like letting things come to you sometimes is more important.
Right.
Being open to opportunities and just like make business plans and try to control the outcomes.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful message. Shifting gears a little bit, what do you think makes businesses and leaders successful today?
So, firstly, we need to define what successful means because I have a very different idea of what it means.
Let's talk about
today.
that first then. Yeah, so how do you define success then?
So I always used to think that success was material success, or, or power structure. So the more power, the more wealth you accumulate, the more successful you are. I grew up with that kind of mentality. Mm-hmm. That's what I was taught in school.
Right.
That's the environment where we kind of live today.
Right.
So now for me, success means like how much you know who you are and how much you know what you're here for.
Yeah.
And how aligned you are with your own purpose. For me means success. And I look up for leaders that are fully aligned with what they need to bring into the world. Okay,
great. And so you think that knowing that is what makes those leaders successful?
Definitely.
Understanding that.
I think that you're spending the time to know yourself and understand your purpose. It's really important because that's what's going to make your success. It's like, I feel like we are like organisms in a body. We're small cells in the organism. Right. And each cell has a specific purpose. Yeah. So if you're a heart and you're trying to be the lung, then you're not going to be really successful.
Right. That makes sense. Where do you see the state of the world 5 years from now, and how do you see yourself and the Assemblage contributing to it?
I stopped thinking in that space-time approach a few years ago because I had so many plans so many times and it never happened the way you expected.
Right.
So I really see the 5-year plan as what do we want to implement in the world?
Okay.
And then how to get there, it's going to be revealed as we go.
Okay.
So stop having these 5-year goals.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to have a vision.
Right.
And I feel like Assemblage would be an important and will become something important to show people the way of how do you want to live, how do you want to work, how to stay more connected. And obviously I would love to see Assemblage in different cities and even outside in nature, out of cities, inside of cities, and providing that containers for people to create what they need to create. I see it as a soil where people can come plant their own seeds and grow from here.
That's beautiful. Do you guys have plans to expand to other places?
Yes, so we're just starting to look into it. Yes.
That's exciting. Yeah. Awesome. My last question I always like to leave people with is what's a valuable piece of advice that you would like to give to other entrepreneurs that are creating their businesses with conscious intentions?
I think it's everything that we said.
Yeah.
So really spending your time to be fully aligned with what you're supposed to do. Also taking care of yourself first. I see a lot of entrepreneurs that are so passionate by the action that they bring into the world that they completely forget about taking care of themselves. Right. And it's very counterintuitive. Right. But the time you spend taking care of yourself and meditating infuses the action in the world. Great. So it's really to stop and hold space for yourself and learn to do that before creating action. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. This was great. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add that I didn't ask you? Anything you wanted to talk about?
No, I think we're good. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was great.